Good. I'm just
Welcome
going to
to
introduce you. I'm just going to introduce you for a second here. This is my friend Ken, Chef Ken, Kenny
Kenny.
K. I call him,
Kenny.
Chef Kenny, at the amazing Workshop Restaurant downtown in Calgary, and Kitchen and Culture. Yes, yes, he was ready for that. So you've been closed for a while.
Well, sorry. We have been. We've been closed since that was an awful decision we had to make, but we made it on March 17th.
Wow. So
So
coming up a month, eh?
I guess it's been just about a month. I think this is actually, according to the calendar, the 5th week now. It's Tuesday today, so it's week 5 now.
Wow.
Since the closures all began. And I mean, we didn't follow any kind of scheduled, like with other restaurants. We kind of followed the patterns of downtown only, and we saw the exodus starting to happen that week. Even the week before, the Thursday, Friday that week, like the 12th, by the 16th, the Monday, we had no one come in for lunch. We had 0 customers, and there was no one downtown. And I'm right down in the core, as you know.
Yes.
Surrounded by tens of thousands of office workers.
Best food in the city.
We hope so, man. That's what we go for.
And so I know we talked a few weeks ago, and you were looking at different options. And I mean, you're worried about your staff. It's a big deal. I know I have been an entrepreneur. I've been an employer, and the last thing you want to do is send people home.
Well, I mean, I guess it's not even really a silver lining at all, but the only way that it was made, I guess, a little bit easier was the fact that everybody understood. Nobody argued, nobody protested, nobody didn't understand. Everyone knew what was going on. And
Yeah.
we were all in it together, including the owners, including the landlords, including at every level. I mean, it was incredibly hard though. And my heart did go out to my staff, especially in those early days when there was not really as much certain. Everything was just happening in real time in front of us all.
Yes.
And it's never happened before. There was no playbook on this stuff.
No. So how have you been the last month? How have you been dealing with?
Well, okay. It's generally challenging seasons that show somebody's mettle, that show someone's character, that show somebody's ability to handle tough situations. And yes, this was a tough situation. And I don't think anybody, I don't know, maybe you, but I don't know a lot of people that skated through this real smooth and easy and just like every day was, blissful. And no, it took some work. This took some intentionality and some mindful, like, what is happening right now? And am I prepared for this? And to get prepared for me was important. And so I had to find structure and routine early on. First week, I was drifting like crazy. I was going for early morning drives. I was so confused and just, really just in a bit of a zombie-like state that first week. I don't know if that's the way to describe it, but that's how it felt.
I know. Yes. Yeah.
It was strange. But then the second week, I started to apply some program, like some disciplines and some like a bit of a get back to work campaign in my own life, So I made myself a little home gym. It's been excellent. It's been really good, actually. Once I got into it, just kind of shifted gears away from it's just because I can't do it like that anymore doesn't mean I can't do it.
Yes.
I just can't do it like that anymore. So that's been kind of fun for me. Honestly, David, it's been kind of fun. I don't feel as though, it's different for guys like us. We're alcoholics, addicts. I've been to the depths of sort of desperate situations before. This doesn't scare me. If that makes crazy enough, and then maybe that's the biggest reason why I can laugh and talk about this and be positive is because I'm not really scared of a bottom. I'm not really scared of challenging times. Man, those times have been the times where I've had some great growth.
We've danced with the devil before.
Oh, right on. Exactly. And we knew it was going to happen again. We didn't know how or when.
Yeah. Well, this is nice that this is not self-imposed. Most of our.
Okay. Can I speak to that a little bit?
Sure.
Okay. A month or two before, I'd had some other struggles going on in my life, which actually brought me to a very challenging place, a bit of a breakdown I had that was quite publicly sort of visible. It was tough. Now, the conditions that led to that were largely created by myself. They were largely to do with my the way I handled relationships and people and situations, and my ill preparedness sometimes to handle things, and my poor way of handling things. So it was a self-imposed crisis.
Yes.
And it was awful. Now, in comparison to this crisis, though, this would be considered a bigger crisis. My business is in jeopardy. I have no assurance of an income, or my home, all that's in jeopardy. And yet, as you said, because it wasn't a self-imposed crisis, I was able to kind of face it with a little bit more reality. I think it's not as easy to fool myself and trick myself when the challenge was from out here. I'm kind of ready for it. If that makes sense.
Yes. But
I'm not ready for my own challenges.
Yes, because we live in beside a river called denial.
And rationalization, yes.
and it's so easy to
Sorry, slow down.
to imagine. You're right. I talk a lot on this series that we're doing about the 12 steps of recovery. Often we talk about it here, and for me, I recognize that as my, alcoholism and addiction is my mental illness.
Yeah.
And so the mind, my crazy mind, can't be trusted.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's a time. Okay. So isolation time is again where you need to take a look at your patterns and your disciplines, and make sure that maybe it's time to tighten the screws a little bit, because if I don't intentionally connect and have conversations like this and expose some vulnerability,
yes,
then there's no one that's going to be able to reciprocate or call me on it or speak back to it. So
yes,
this is really important.
Yeah. I've been talking to my sponsor, and a ton of sponsees. I have I'm doing 5th steps on Zoom. And,
nice.
And I feel very fortunate. I mean, but I ask for that. I mean, in my prayer, I ask for, because I use that concept in the 12-step book that I have a new employer, and I get up in the morning and I say, okay, boss.
Yes, and he's an employer that's recession proof.
He is. He's always got work for me.
Exactly.
And as long as I show up in the right attitude, and there's always work, and I always get paid.
But what happens on the days or weeks when you're mad at your boss?
I haven't had those in quite a while.
Lucky. Yeah. I'm still kind of adversarial with my boss. Sometimes I think I'm the boss.
I haven't had those in quite a while. I've been spending time with teachers too. Like I listen to a lot. My time is with Muji. I listen to Muji a lot. I don't know if he's this amazing kind of a spiritual teacher that I've really tuned in. He's simple. They're not, we're talking about some a course in theology. Very simple, and I enjoy his. I listen to Ram Dass, and I'm going to meetings. I'm on Zoom meetings, and I'm still running a big book study on Friday nights.
Are you good?
Yes,
I'm hitting lots of Zoom meetings myself, actually, and it's been really, really important for me.
Yeah,
the 9:30 meeting. It's just a new, it's just adapting, right? I think we have to just adapt, and I think that alcoholics, me anyways, addicts, kind of good at adapting. I don't know. Like I go to those meetings, David, honestly, and there's sometimes 40 to 50 people. I see 40 to 50 faces, and I'm able to connect with eye contact and body language.
Yeah.
It's pretty good, and they're very positive, uplift. I don't hear a lot of negativity.
I don't
hear a lot of doom and gloom. These are people who are getting through it.
We may always have Zoom meetings from now on. I mean, they may not go away.
I agree.
This could be a new normal. I mean, I love being face to face in a 12-step meeting with my people, and I'm also seeing though that people are getting to meetings who weren't going so much.
Or people are coming back to the meetings in their hometown that they've moved away from.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. And all of a sudden they're just back here again.
I have a buddy in Australia, Mal, and I got in touch with Mal, and we were chatting, and he hasn't been going to many meetings. So he's got 42 years up. And
42.
He's dropping in on our meetings here. He's coming to PPG on Wednesday night.
Nice. Yeah.
And he came to my big book study the other night. So that's good. And we're calling it actually recovery tourism.
Yeah.
I can go to meetings anywhere in the world. I was in a meeting the other morning, the other night actually, but it was a morning meeting in Bali, my home group in Bali. And so for those of you that are watching that don't understand what we're talking about.
I know it's true, but that's okay.
Kenny and I we're in recovery, and from alcoholism and drug addiction, and Kenny and I know each other really well. We've had all the other addictions as well, and we're not going to go into detail, but there's there's just a lot that can, when you're an addict or you're an alcoholic, finding our way to a spiritual recovery sometimes includes looking in every corner.
Sure.
And there's a little addiction over here we look at. Food, I've had a little foods addictions and gambling addictions, and we don't want to talk about sex addictions, but maybe a little, and all of those things, so but we get recovery, and it comes as a result of our experiencing a spiritual experience, having a God-centered life, and however we see that.
Yeah. Well, it's always remaining. The posture always has to be like, come on, God, show me more of you. You know, I never want to get to the point where I'm like, okay, I understand you now. I finally get you. You know what I mean? I want to always be learning more. And as that process has happened for me over the last 17 years, it's taken a lot of different forms. And each one of them is no better or worse or more meaningful or less than any of the others, because they've all served the purpose of growing my understanding. Yeah. And maybe that's just how it is for me. Like, God, I'm going to show you the many, you know, like George Costanza, the many sides, the many shades, the many flavors, you know, like that's not one thing for me.
Ultimately, for you and I, our whole life is about giving this away, you know, and
finding it, then giving it away.
Yes. And so, you know, as we see our relationship in so many different ways, like you just said, so many sizes, so many, it helps us to be a more service to others. And
because they come in all shapes and sizes too.
They do. And with all their little peculiarities, we often of what we call acute uniqueness. Every one of us thinks we're different, right? And
you mean I'm not a unique, delicate snowflake?
Well, you are unique.
Kid, though.
You are unique. The solution is always the same.
There you go. That's good. Unique problems, common solution.
Yeah, common solution.
Common solution. I don't think it's just for us. It's not like we have some kind of weird secret. Anybody can access the solution.
Yes. But we're so fortunate. I look around on the meetings and I see, you know, many of us are pretty calm. This is, you know, and a lot of people out there are scared to death.
I've heard this.
And they're really frightened, and they've never had their world shook up. They thought they had certainty. They thought that everything was lined up. You know, they had their retirement savings plan, and you know, and now they don't have a job. And these folks need, you know, what we have, which is a day at a time. Sometimes a moment.
I agree. For me, it's about prioritizing. Like, and when recovery becomes the top priority in my life, and that doesn't mean that like my relationship with God isn't there, because to me it's one and the same.
Yes.
So, as you said already, recovery is a seeking and finding and sharing of a higher power.
Yes.
So that's the top priority in my life. And that means that it's more important than how much I have in the bank account, which means that if my bank account suffers, I still have this.
Yes.
I still have this. And it's more important. It's a higher priority in my life. It doesn't mean that it's going to be fun if the bank account suffers. Shit, it's going to be hard. And my bank account has suffered. I'm probably going to watch the value of my company decrease by, it's hard to put a percentage on it, but let me just say it cost us tens of thousands of dollars to close this restaurant. Yeah. And now we're at a place where that money's been spent, never to be returned, and I have no revenue. So it's a tough spot.
Speaking of that, that dovetails really nicely into what's the new plan. You have something. You're coming back in a different way. Tell us.
Coming back strong. I mean, it's going to be different. This pandemic has forced guys who a month ago had fine dining restaurants, busy and full fine dining restaurants. A month later, they have a takeout restaurant. If they want to survive, that's the option. That's the option. So my challenge, I didn't want to just do a knee-jerk reaction a month ago and just say, oh God, I better open, because I needed to take some time and ponder and think and observe what other people were doing. And I also wanted to get a bit of a read intuitively on what people wanted and what they needed now, before I just started throwing something at them. We have a common friend. He's another chef. He owns a couple of restaurants in town here. He's on a similar path as me, taking a while to kind of take a look at the thing. So what we've decided to do, David, is we've created a program. So the restaurant, again, is called Workshop. So we've now created Workshop at Home. and it's a takeout program, but it's a destination takeout program because that's kind of the restaurant we were. I didn't want to make a takeout program that confused what the restaurant was. I wanted to do a program that represented what the restaurant was, just in a different expression.
Yes.
It's been fun trying to capture a concept and figure out what that looks like. And now we're ready to unroll it. We're actually opening this week for our takeout concept. So that's exciting.
Wow. So, wow.
I mean, I don't know if it's going to work. I mean, I think it is. We took a lot of time and we have expertise, obviously, and resources. So we think we have desirable products. We know the food's going to be excellent.
So we're talking dinner only?
Well, yeah, it's only dinner for now. It's baby steps in because we're easing in. And as a small business owner that's been forced to close, as you know, cash flow is so important. So I cannot have a day where I lose money at all. I have to plan it so my costs are exceptionally tight and my margin is very small, but I'm able to make a little bit of money every day and build on that every day. It's about having a profitable formula and starting out small for me. Working towards maybe, in 2, 3, 4 weeks, maybe I have something that resembles more of a viable business. So right now it's baby steps.
Nice.
But delicious baby steps.
7 days a week?
No, only 4. Only 4. And it's about, I have to manage labor is the toughest thing. So as of right now, it's only one. My manager, I've returned to salary, so that's excellent. She's off of her company benefits. So am I. I never actually went on them, but I'm on payroll again. And then I returned one more cook. So that's 3 people that aren't accessing benefits that are, creating some revenue and some livelihoods and also providing a service. And I think it's valuable. So
you had to figure out how you're going to pack food.
Oh yeah. I mean, you know what, David, I can walk around this bar and turn my computer around. I'm going to show you our setup now because it's entirely different.
Nice.
Take 5 seconds. Hold on.
Yeah, please. Yep. Entrepreneurs, we have to adapt, improvise, and overcome. And Kenny's an entrepreneur for sure.
Hey, we're back. All right, now you're looking into the dining room. Can you see that?
Yes.
Good, right on. So there's about 85 seats in here. And, this the saddest part about this is that there's no butts in the seats, because guess what? The rent still has to be paid. Yep. So I might as well try and make some money, right? Now here's, I'll show you what we have here. These are our communal dining tables behind me, but see what they're all set up with? Packaging to go and lots of space around there these aren't for our staff, obviously, but or for our customers, it's for our staff to package up food. And then over there, and then we have an area as well that we've created for the only the transfer of the food with physical distancing and all that. These are things that we all have to take into account now in our reopening process, that were things that were unheard of to anybody, a foreign language to everybody.
You're literally going to attempt to physically distance each other in the restaurant.
We have the ability to do it because we have so much space.
Yes.
And so we're going to, because we are still subject to AHS regulations and their new mandates, right? They have new mandates on how to operate.
Wow.
So that's all fine. I mean, it is what it is. But, you got to either, I can accept it and find a way to thrive, or I can complain and self-pity and, why is this happening? And well, it's happening, right?
I say that entrepreneurs learn to adapt, improvise, and overcome.
That's so true. We have to, or we die. Yeah, so true. Improvisation. That's, it's funny you say that because our menus are called improv menus.
Nice.
And it just gives us a license to be really, really creative. And it's great. I'm going to flip this back again. Or should I? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. With your menu.
Yeah.
4 days a week, 10 items.
6 items.
Yes.
So here's my concept in a couple of sentences.
Yes.
I've already said that we wanted to do an upscale takeout program that represented the restaurant and what we do.
Yes.
So what we've done is we're doing a weekly menu that changes every week, and we're releasing the menu on the Monday of every new week.
Yes.
That menu will be sort of influenced by a specific culture or sort of culinary influence of us in the kitchen. So for example, French cuisine is what we're actually doing this week. We're doing like sort of rustic, like country French cuisine, and it's going to be really delicious and hearty and great for takeout because it's a lot of braised items that travel really well. And so we're trying to do intelligent takeout that arrives to people and is like delicious and can be reheated easily and doesn't lose any quality if it's in the fridge and reheated. All stuff that's gone into our menus.
Yes.
Okay? So we've got warm potato and bacon salads. We've got, cauliflower with like gratin and cheese and stuff like that on top. And we've got like beans with a butter on the side that you'd melt on at home. And it's kind of like a little bit of do it yourself a little bit. And so it can be the best that it can possibly be. And then the next week we would say goodbye to all that. And we would bring in like, Latin cuisine. We would do like Mexican sort of flavors one week. And then the next week we would do, you see what I'm saying? We would do a different cuisine type every week.
So is this going to be your new menu every week? It's going to be posted on the website?
Absolutely. So we're relying on social media to carry the message. And really that's all we have access to. It's the only tool we have right now.
Does Workshop have a Facebook page?
Yes, but we're not super active on there. Most of our activity is on Instagram. Now we've set it up though, so it's like a really simple process. If you go on our website, there's a workshop at home tab that we've created that has all the information. It's fantastic and easy to read. It talks all about how you pick up, how we get it delivered, the menu, how to order. It's we basically had to create a whole new restaurant, and that included creating a whole new website. None of the old stuff worked anymore. We weren't booking events. We didn't have reservations. We had to create a whole new. So I encourage people to take a look at what was quickly put together. To be able to have this new revenue stream and provide new service. So
we'll share your website.
Thank you.
And I have a bit of a following on Facebook. We can post your.
It's up on Facebook. It is up on Facebook. We're easy to find. We're easy to Workshop Restaurant Calgary.
I'll post it a few times for a few weeks for you. To get the name out. I mean, we have so many friends in common.
Yes, true.
That won't even know about this. It'll take a while.
Well, and that's so we were an established restaurant before, meaning we didn't really need to do much marketing and outreach and advertising.
Yes.
It was kind of a luxury for us. But now we have to rely on these new measures. We have to, because people aren't, if we have to stay relevant. That's one of the reasons why we chose to reopen. Of course, we want to bring back employees. We want to create some revenue. Yes. But we also want to stay visible in the community, in people's minds. Oh yeah, Workshop, let's order. Let's go there when they reopen. Let's not forget about Workshop. That's kind of the dual purpose of this reopening.
Yeah, good for you. Well, we'll support. I have lots of. This is going to be on YouTube, and I'll cut it down to an hour and send it to you if you want to put it on Instagram.
An hour? Are we already there? An hour?
We could be close. Yeah, we could be close. But
awesome. I'll send you all the everything I do on Instagram generally reflects on Facebook anyway. It goes there automatically. But the website is where people want to go most. So I'll send you a bunch of stuff just personally to your phone. Now let's try doing a high five on Zoom like this.
Okay, hang on. I switched over to look on my main thing and coronavirus. I had a
there you go.
I had one of my YouTube channels came to life. Oh, it just did it again. I got to turn it off. There it is over there.
Latter part of March, I think 23rd.
Okay. I'm not the most techie guy on the planet.
No, me neither. It takes me a while to learn how to figure things out. But is the interview over now then, or what?
No, we can.
Oh, hi.
No, we're still here. You have anything more that you want to share with us?
I mean, I don't know if it's relevant to the conversation we've just had, but woman I'm in love with showed up in my life again after 7 months. crazy. I think it's the pandemic. It's everything's shifting and moving, and all of a sudden the best people will show up in people's life again.
That's right. I showed up this week.
It's also true. You're right. So I don't know what that means. I'm going to explore it carefully and cautiously.
Yeah, good for you.
Sure love her a lot, and I was just thrilled to hear from her. So
it's a what do they call that thing when you walk in a circle? It's a labyrinth. The labyrinth of love. It's dangerous territory for us, eh?
Oh yeah.
It in a way, because because you know, I don't know. I mean, you're much better at relationships than I've ever been, but
there's one cloth and we're cut from the same one. That's for the record.
So I recognize it as dangerous territory for me, and
exactly. So that's why I say approach cautiously.
Cautiously,
right. Measured approach.
Yeah, helps to have other men in your life too. You can talk to about things sometimes.
Yeah, I find that if you're willing to talk about things and be vulnerable, you're not going to shock anybody, and they're probably going to relate. You know, again, their stories are going to be a little bit different. The flavors will be a bit different, but same universal problems as men.
Not all men are aware of how dangerous it is for us sometimes, you know, because we get lost in there. What happens for many of us is we kind of lose our connection with our higher power. You know,
he says we get lost in there. I think he means in here.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. And for me, often when I've kind of fallen in love, it subverts my relationship with God in some way.
Yeah, it can. It certainly can. Yeah.
So it's something.
Especially the confusing part about it is this is hard for me, because I often think when I have those intense feelings of love and everything, I think, well, this is probably what God wants for me. So then I start to think that what I'm doing is actually God ordained action. So I need to do it, and it's God's will. But you know what that is, right? That's me playing God.
Yeah.
Because at really not no point, but what I need to do to make that formula look a little better is kind of go, okay, God, this is happening. Can you walk with me through this, please? And I'm gonna listen to you, and I'm gonna really try to listen to you, and I'm gonna listen to my conscience when you send me messages. And if it hurts or I feel like I have to justify something, I'm gonna second guess it or maybe talk to my friend about it. That's what I should do.
Yeah,
that's what I should do. I'm not gonna do that every time, but that's what I should do. That's my path.
Yeah, that's as you and I both know, the importance of like what we call sponsorship, eh?
Sponsorship and accountability.
Yes, and good for you, my friend. I'm excited for your journey right now in the restaurant and also in your personal life.
Thank you so much. It's been a tough year as well because my son moved out this year. You've gone through this when your children leave.
Yes,
that was a tough go.
You know, where is he?
Kelowna, full time now.
Yeah.
So he'd been going back and forth to Kelowna, but then always coming home to my place in the off season.
Yeah.
You know.
He's okay? Is he on lockdown too?
Yes, he is. Yeah, he's for sure. But he's not staying there because of lockdown. He's a resident now. He lives there, has a life there.
Yeah.
He's doing excellent. He's not one of us. He's
he's a
little different.
My kids are Regan's in London, England, and locked down there. But
wow. Yeah.
Good job, and he's doing well. And you know, Luke and Emily are here in the country, and they're all down with their kids. You know, it's
of course, yeah.
We have family calls on Saturday morning at 11 o'clock. There's 12 of us on a family call.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
You all have your mics muted or just open season?
It's open season.
Oh boy.
Yeah. my ex takes most of the space, but I love her.
There we go.
Anyway,
you know what that reminds me of really quickly? That reminds me of, what was the show that was on in the 70s or 70s? It was like the Waltons or something where they had all them in boxes.
Yeah.
Well, good night, John Boy. Good night, Mary. You know what I mean? They were all, it's kind of like a Zoom meeting where they're all like that.
That's right.
Or was it the Partridge Family? Which one was it?
I forget it.
Waltons, I believe.
Or the Brady Bunch.
Or maybe it's the Brady Bunch. Yes, that's what it was. Right? And they were all lined up like this, like a checkerboard.
They were in a checkerboard. All right. Listen, love you.
Great to catch up. Great to catch up.
I'll see you in the meetings, in the rooms.
And we'll get our bikes on the road maybe soon-ish.
My Linda's husband Bruce was over the other day looking at my bike, and which I'm lucky to have been able to hang on to through all of this stuff, and you know,
that'll be good. That'll be good therapy for us to get it on two wheels.
Yeah. I'm ready. I've had the battery charger on all winter, and do you need to do some work on yours?
Yeah, a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got it planned. Dallin, our friend, is going to do it for me.
Is he?
Yes.
Awesome. I haven't heard from Dallin nor see him around.
I see him. I pop in on him. I have my circuit and he's on it. So.
Good. Okay, brother. Love you. I'm going to go.
Love you too. Thanks so much for the check-in, man.
And we'll post your stuff. Go on and pull some stuff out of your page and let people know that
Instagram is Workshop YYC, and Workshopcalgary.com is the website.
And Facebook?
Just search Workshop Kitchen and Culture Calgary.
Okay.
All right. Love you, man. Thank you.
You bet. Bye-bye.
Yeah.